Yo, why are NPR and PBS at a Dodge hearing getting cursed out by Marjorie Taylor Greene? My name is Marcus Russell. This is the Marcus Russell Show, and I can explain that to you. Okay, as you know, Dodge's main objective is to cut federal spending. First, Trumpito cut the spending funding on all the malarkey going on overseas. Next, he hit the Social Security Department. Next, he hit the Education Department, et cetera, et cetera. Well, now we're at the broadcasting agency. Of these two broadcasting agencies that are to question, they have already received $535 million for the first fiscal of 2025. Now, check it out. That's and they make billions annually. I don't know how much it costs to run a nationwide conglomerate of television networks and radio stations. But I think that the problem that Majorie Taylor Greene had is basically they've been biased politically, overwhelmingly biased. And as everybody knows, MTG really can't stand no Trump haters. I mean, she hates a Trump hater. Anyway, this hearing is called the Anti-American Airwaves hearing. It was held by Marjorie Taylor Greene herself, and then she gives the presidents of these two companies an opportunity to plead their cases on why their funding shouldn't be stopped. Okay, now check it. Of the funding, about 15% of PBS's funding is from federal government. About 1% of PBRs, NBCs. They both rejected the notion that they pander to liberal audiences, as you should when that funding is on the line. But something in this clip tells me that Marjorie Taylor Greene was not feeling none of that. Let's roll the clip.
Minutes of questions. Ms. Marr, your public statements and social media posts reflect left-wing ideology and blatant opposition to free speech. After all, you were the head of Wikipedia for many years, which is a platform that doesn't tell the truth. Let's walk through some of your statements so the public can understand your personal views. You said your fellow Americans just elected Donald Trump as president again this past November. You called him a deranged racist and sociopath. You posted on X that America is addicted to white supremacy. Appalling. You've publicly chastised using the phrase boy and girl, which you said erases the language for non-binary people. There's only two genders, by the way. Ms. Marr, the federal funding that your outlet receives comes from all American taxpayer dollars, not just from your viewers who support such statements as these. Let me inform you, and that your federal funding is also paid for by the other half of the country, the 77 million Americans who voted for President Trump, someone you called a deranged racist sociopath.
Oh, you
Ms.
blew
Marr,
it.
many find your pro-censorship and anti-free speech views more concerning than your politics. The only speech you like seems to be speech that you agree with. In 2021, you called the First Amendment the #1 challenge in American journalism because it makes it hard to crack down on bad information. You said in a TED Talk that our reverence for the truth might be a distraction. You've also expressed support for deplatforming individuals you view as fascist. Who do you think should be charged with cracking down on so-called bad information? Is it NPR? Is it the government? Is it you, Ms. Marr?
Congresswoman, Madam Chair, thank you so much for the opportunity to address this. I know.
Is it up to you and NPR to crack down on bad information or decide the truth? Answer the question, yes or no, Ms. Marr.
Absolutely not. I'm a very strong believer in free speech, and I believe that more speech.
Your public statements say otherwise. Ms. Marr, in 2021, when speaking at an Atlanta Council event, you said that when you were CEO of Wikipedia, you took a very active approach to disinformation and misinformation. During the COVID pandemic and the 2020 election, you said you censored information through conversations with government. Which governments were those, Ms. Marr? The Biden administration, yes or no?
Madam Chair, Wikipedia never censored any information.
These are your public statements, Ms. Marr. Ms. Marr, are you familiar with Section 399B of the Communications Act? It prohibits non-commercial education broadcast stations, NCEs, from airing commercials on behalf of for-profit entities. The FCC recently opened an investigation into the underwriting announcements and related policies of NPR and PBS. Does NPR air commercials for for-profit entities, Ms. Marr? Yes or no?
Madam Chair, we are in full compliance with the FCC's inquiry and will continue to cooperate.
I remind you, you're under oath, and violations of the Communications Act comes with a fine up to $10,000 and possibly up to a year in prison. Does PBS air for-profit commercials, Ms. Kruger?
We air underwriting announcements, and we believe we are in full compliance with the FCC, and we look forward to delivering the material required in this part of this investigation.
We look forward to that, too. I'm assuming you're concerned, both of you are concerned about this, and that's why you brought so many attorneys with you today. Ms. Kruger, using taxpayer subsidies, PBS funded independent Lens to make documentaries for part of your programming. In 2016, Real Boy was aired about a trans teen navigating adolescent sobriety and the ramification of his gender identity. In 2022, the same series aired Our League, in which a trans woman comes to her old school Ohio bowling league in a story about transition. Then in 2024, Racist Trees was aired, telling a story of how in Palm Springs, a black neighborhood fights to remove a divisive wall of trees.
Racist Trees
Needs to fund ridiculous material such as this that the taxpayers are having to pay for.
Crazy.
These are documentary films that are point of view pieces that are part of our primetime schedule for adults.
Okay.
And parents and adults don't trust that type of programming.
Yeah, they're not going to get that funding. They are not going to get that funding, not acting like that. But yo, I agree. If you are getting funded by the entire government, then your organization can't choose one political party over the other. They combined have over 43 million listeners, 160 million viewers, and they have service in rural places that don't even have radio stations and television stations. So I agree. You have to try to be as objective as possible when you like a public service company, especially when you're funded by the government. Secondly, if you have ever publicly said something about Trumpito and Marjorie Taylor Greene finds out about it, oh, it is up. You know, gang, she is not playing. If she finds out about it, you already know that fund is gone. That funding is out the window. Them poor two little billionaire CEOs, they took a vicious lashing from her. You know what I'm saying? It was messed up. It was hurt the whole time. They was just the whole time like some guilty, cheating housewives, just crying and denying. No, baby, I didn't, I didn't do that. Please don't take that funding. Don't take that funding. You know, at one point, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she told the CEO of PBS, she was like, "And you need to fix up on your personal hygiene. I can smell you from up on this bench." And the poor little CEO said, "Yes, ma'am. I'll try to wash up. I'll try to wash up better next time." It was embarrassing. But that's what you got to say when that fund is on the line. You see, AP, Associated Press, they're totally banned from the White House since they wanted to continue to call the Gulf of America the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, you don't want to call it the Gulf of America? Okay, you don't need to come to the White House no more. Lose this money. You know what I'm saying? But the bottom line is this. Watch your mouth about Trumpito. You know, because, hey, if Marjorie Taylor Greene she's going to take that funding. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I don't like that neither. You know, if you got something to say about this man is risking his life out here, you know what I'm saying, to change this country and make America great again every day. And y'all naysayers, anybody, if you getting funded by him and you had something to say and Marjorie Taylor Greene finds out about it, oh, funding gone. Let me know what you think about it in the comments. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Until next time, peace.